breaking yourself nonstop lately.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of fucking awful.
All right, let's here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and we are rolling with Mr. Kenneth Rogers, Brain Shanks, MDP order member, one of the founding members of the San Diego crew. Obviously hails from San Diego. I met him through a mutual order member, and we've become very good friends. Very happy to have him here, and I appreciate you doing this, sir.
Very happy to be here.
Let's get into what makes up you. Tell us about growing up.
Growing up was interesting. My dad was an iron worker,
Okay.
so he went where the work was. So I unfortunately only saw him maybe once a week because he would go out to wherever the work was.
You had a journeyman type gig.
Exactly. And he flew back home, saw us for a day, and then would flip around and go back out. But that being said, when my dad came to town, it was always some big thing. My dad had his beautiful early 80s 250 that he just carried me and my brother around in. We'd go out and do crazy fun stuff, and we got to show him all the things we built over the week with our neighbors. And we built bike jumps and stuff like that, but we started getting...
Is the 250 the same one that you still have?
No. The old 250 had what he called Old Yeller, because same thing, older model, just yellow and tan.
Oh, okay.
Father's Creature Habit bought a 91 that's blue and tan.
Ah,
Same truck, same everything. He's just a creature of habit.
right on. Well, he knows what he likes.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we'd build all sorts of crazy things, whether it be potato guns. We built a crane, more of a boom in the backyard,
Okay.
and anchored it into the ground, and we were swinging each other off of it using body harnesses. And it would boom out like 8 feet out into the street, and we would just swing on that for hours. And like I said, every time my dad came to town, it was a really cool thing. And my mom, she didn't really know how to handle me, so she pawned me off on the neighbors, because it was 2 naval officers with 4 boys.
Oh, a good fit.
So they got me into scouts really early on, and that kept me busy so much. And that's what I guess I just based my life on, because I was there from, I guess it was Bears, or the one right before Weeblos, all the way till I made Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
And then I stayed in Scouts as an adult leader till the kids that I was mentoring eagled out, along with
I
my
figured
little
you
brother.
got kicked out for eating a brownie. But dun. Oh, so well, we'll go ahead and just go a little off topic since you brought up the Scouts. So what do you think of the now Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Scouts?
I think it's... I don't like it personally. I mean, there's always been the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, and they've gone their own ways. And then, God, I can't remember how long ago it was that the Venture Crew came out. Did you ever know about that?
No.
The Venture Crew was a division where it was co-ed, but it was once everyone had gone through the scoutings on their own. So the Venture Crew got to do things the Boy Scouts couldn't do, like shooting handguns, going to certain campsites, things like that. And they got to do stuff the Girl Scouts couldn't do. So it integrated into it to be a co-ed, a high-adventure club.
Nice.
So they got to go do all these great backpacking trips, and they got to go up Mount Whitney all the time. They got to go shooting. They got to do...
You'd think I know about it. It sounds a lot like the MDP shit.
They got to do a lot more wilderness survival
Wow.
training and things like that. The Adventure Club was for the people who really, really wanted to get involved. The Boy Scouts was a great way to, I guess, shape all of us into the men that we are today. And the Girl Scouts, I mean, everyone said, oh, they don't get to do this, that, and the other. But some of the Girl Scouts that I grew up around, they were badass as shit. They went camping just as much as I did. They went hunting just as much as I did. And they learned all that from the Girl Scouts. Mind you, it wasn't a heavily as funded program as the Boy Scouts, which did kind of shoot that down a little bit.
Well, I mean, just in nature, the Scouts alone, you're out doing ranger shit. You might sleep outside without a tent, a blanket, in your clothes, looking for food.
Right.
There's a lot of that involved in that. And that's not real appealing to a lot of women or females of any age. That's kind of changing. And me personally, like, I'm fine with it just being called Scouts and having boys and girls, but I'm not of this movement, this non-binary. There's no difference between men and women. We're all the same. And I mean, how you choose to identify it, we all use words to describe things, and it helps when I can describe you because you're able to carry a child and you're not as strong as me, just as smart, capable in just completely different ways. But I could say that you're a woman and I'm a man. It's just simple genetics, And now,
Right.
now obviously there's some people who are born a man and think they're a woman, and that's fine and okay too. That's quite possible, but I don't know how to word it other than it's kind of funny that like these kind of things are becoming a choice, and we don't do politics and religion with the MDP, but we do a lot of common sense.
Right.
So I mean, we just use words to describe things, and people shouldn't get so bent out of shape, And that's why when someone gets called an asshole, well, you're just like a stinky asshole, right?
Yeah. I did forget to wipe a little bit.
All right, so we made fun stuff at home, and then we did the scouts.
Right, and doing the scouts led me to when, after I was an adult leader and helped my brother become an Eagle Scout, because that was another big thing, because my dad still at this point wasn't around very often. And I mean, he missed a lot of the trips and it killed him, but he knew I was still there helping my little brother along and helping the other kids whose dads weren't as involved as, say, some of the others. And once I got done with scouts, I didn't want to lose that sense of camaraderie, that brotherhood that I had. But the scouts had changed a lot since when I joined to when I left. So I found an off-roading group and I started hanging out with them, doing more camping, more outdoor activities, and transitioning from a high school kid who was still going out on all these camping trips, and that's what I loved. And I was really punk, and I had my big mohawk and just kind of crazy, and I got kicked out of school for fighting, and then I went into off-roading really heavily. But I still think scouting was my biggest accomplishment because I stuck with that and I learned so much from it, became who I am. But going out off-roading and going out to these campgrounds as an adult was a totally different experience and a lot more fun.
Yeah, and you had it. We were both Jeepers. Neither one of us have one right now, but we both had Jeeps and did a lot of that, fabrication work and everything like
Right.
that. It's fun. That kind of leads to what you're doing now, right? I mean, you do a lot of. It's not on vehicles, but you do a lot of fabrication work.
I do. Well, when I got out of high school, I got a job in an automotive field, and I started chauffeuring cars around and shuttling them on and off car trailers.
Yeah.
And then slowly progressed into a further division of that where I got to work on the vehicles because I had done the grunt work, and I got to change tires and do lube jobs and brake jobs. Simple stuff, but they were on high-end vehicles that I got to see for the first time before anybody else in the country, which is really cool. And then I left from there.
You guys were doing like the endurance test on all the new model stuff, is that
Right.
Yeah.
The longest program that I was on, because I was on Kia, Lexus, Jeep, Ford, but Mercedes, I was on that one for just over a year. And the Mercedes AMG Driving Academy is what it was. Is they take all the new cars of that year and take you across country, or take them across country so different people could see them and test drive them, and we turn all the safeties off and show them how big of a difference it is. And then every single night, me and the 15 other people on the crew basically rebuilt the vehicles to be brand new tires, brand new brakes, brand new fluids, brand new car for the very next day. And then they'd torture test them again. And that was also the place where I learned how to drive a big rig of different sorts. I've driven Internationals, Bobcats, Peterbilts, and things like that. I was the only guy who was confident enough to learn how to drive a split shift, a 10-speed.
Yeah.
So I got that experience, and then from there I moved into selling auto parts at a O'Reilly's, but it was a high traffic one that sold to a lot of different shops and things like that. So I got to learn
Dealer accounts, yeah.
Exactly. So I got to learn about motors and how every little part fit together, and it helped me just increase my knowledge in that automotive field. And then from there I went into working for Procomp.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So Procomp started building coilover shocks, then fabricating the run-of-the-mill stuff, just constantly pumping out products, sitting there, drill hole, move on, drill hole, move on. It was really shitty.
Yeah. Mind-numbing. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 hours of doing the same thing over and over again. And then I did, the grunt work there and showed my competency in working on vehicles, spent time with the guys in the research and development team. They taught me so much more about how everything moves and how fabricating things different ways affects how this vehicle is going to perform. I mean, yeah, you can stick it all on, but you put it out in the field, and yeah. So then I started working in their welding department and fabricating, which was really cool, and got more time under the hood doing that. And then I transferred again to running the robotic welding department. Robotic welding was out of this world. It was learning a whole new language on how to program. I mean, taking the wand and making sure you found all your points and then running it before you actually started welding everything, making sure you had the right angle, the right travel speed, the right wire feed speed, everything. It was really cool to learn that. And like I said, it's a whole new language. You know, just increasing the amount of information that I have was great. Mm-hmm. And then I did that for a while. I got stuck on third shift for quite a long time, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I left from there, got a part-time job at Lowe's, just trying to find something to do. Yeah. And that's where I met the person who got me into where I'm at today.
Nice. Working
on doors.
Yeah. Well, you're mobile, you're out, get to meet new people every day, and you're learning. You know, it seems like you like to learn on the job, and it's the same thing I've always liked to be able to learn on the hands-on experience. There's no replacement for it. I mean, you can go to college, get your degree, that's fine, that's great, but until you're actually practicing, it's a completely different world. So
I tried college, I really did, and I was going to Cuyamaca College, and I just couldn't really apply myself, but I would leave from there and go to work to pay for the college, and I was having more fun doing that, and I felt that I was retaining more of the information I was learning in working for the automotive company or working at the auto parts store. Mm-hmm. I was learning a lot more and meeting new people, and in my free time, when I was supposed to be doing schoolwork, doing side projects, working on people's cars.
Well, again, goes right back to that hands-on, right? I mean, there's definitely, there's a time and place for school, no doubt. I'm not saying that, but there's different people, I'm the same way. If I actually try to figure it all out, because I've just taken all these piece classes here and there. I'm 45 years old, and I've gone back to school several times for just specific items that I wanted to learn about, whether it applied to work or not. Like, I've taken physiology and biology classes. I was a fucking furniture mover and truck driver and, paintball player and all this goofy shit,
So an educated helper.
Yeah, I just like, I like learning, and but it's got to be something I'm interested in. That's one of the big problems with school is you've got to cover all these curriculums. Well, if it doesn't interest somebody, why should they have to learn it?
Well, speaking of school, if backtrack a little bit, I got asked to leave my first high school and got to go to a very, very unique school that helped me find those things that I was focused in, and they integrated those things that I was having trouble with, like English and chemistry, or things that I wasn't really attentive to.
Yeah.
But I went to a very unique college prep liberal arts high school.
Nice.
Whole campus for fourth grade. What?
Fame? It's a TV show from like the 80s when you were born or some shit.
Yeah, I've seen those black and white commercials.
The black and white. Nice. Oh, fuck. No, that's awesome. It's cool that you got something that was alternative and actually helped you. That's super huge. So, how'd you get involved with the MDP? How'd that come about?
Getting involved with MDP was when I was working at O'Reilly's, and there was a bar just around the corner from O'Reilly's, which is really bad.
Yeah. Right.
You get paid, go right there and spend all my money.
Yeah.
And me being the asshole that I was, I just rode my bike the 50 feet and parked it in front of the door of the bar.
All right.
And I spent a lot of time there, and wasn't drunk all the time.
Well, it's a bar, right?
So I started hanging out there. They had a pool table, and then I slowly started meeting everyone in there because I'm social and I talk to everyone. And I met Peter. Met Peter Tarantino there, and he had just met his now wife, almost like a couple days when he met me.
Oh, wow.
So all three of us started spending time together at the bar, playing pool, drinking, just joking around, and then Peter told me that he was really interested in my bike, even though it was an old piece of shit. And he had his beautiful Harley parked next to mine. And we started talking. We was like, well, let's just go out and do something. So we went out for a couple rides. He invited me over to his house and slowly just started introducing me to more people. Then after we finally were able to pull both of ourselves away from the bar, I think is when he introduced me to you and Matt.
All right.
So it was just me and Peter getting to know each other, and it was just at that bar scene, just because we found some of the same interest. And I think it was, he walked up to me and said, "You're a big motherfucker on a bike. I like that."
That sounds like Peter. Peter, he does a great job. He makes friends with everybody, man. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, he
You
does.
know, for some reason, he'll, like, some people just will take him the wrong way. And usually it's the wrong people, anyways, you know. But the kid's so nice and so harmless and fuck. I mean, you know, me and him go back, I can't even tell you. I don't even remember how many years. You know, I think he was 14 when I met him, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and part of why he's so fucked is definitely has something to do with hanging out with me.
I think that's the common consensus.
There's no doubt about that.
Well, I mean, getting to meet him and seeing what he was interested in telling me about, you know, being around the right type of people. And at that time, I didn't really have anything. I had gotten away from Boy Scouts, and I was tired of sinking like $1,000 in my Jeep every time I went out off-roading because, you
They're
know,
money pits, for sure.
Yeah, that's what they were. I mean, after you start getting really into it, that's just what they were money pits.
Something's going to break every time, or you're going to want to change something every time. You know?
So I just parked the Jeep and took it out every once in a while and just started putting more and more miles on the bikes and trying to find that next group that I could, I guess, mesh with correctly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I met lots of people, and it was just trying to find the right ones that I wanted to spend my time with. So.
Yeah. And, well, you know, a lot of our pirates are what I call selectively social. You know, like, I can be super social, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be super social with everybody. You know, I you know, when I get to know somebody and, you know, we click and we get along, you know I'm a big annoying asshole, and, you know, if they can deal with that and I can deal with them, and, you know, I mean, they end up in positions like this. Here we
I know,
are, right?
weird. Sitting in a chair in a locked room.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Mom, don't come in. I'm vacuuming. Oh, shit, dude. Yeah, let's get some comedic humor in here with oh shit, the how many times have you crashed in the last couple of years, that motherfucker?
So, yeah, probably more than I can really count.
Yeah.
And most of Peter's crashes have all been with me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've had the bike slide out on me more times than I can count, but the major crashes where something bad happened, I've been rear-ended and crushed the back fender, threw me off the bike. I've been sideswiped as someone hit my front tire, threw me off the bike. The big crash when I was working at ProComp going to work, getting off the freeway and hitting a puddle and trying to correct and overcorrecting and high-siding the bike.
Oh shit.
It was horrible. That was the worst crash I've ever had. I had some tools in my vest because I was going to work, and I had a hammer in one and a spud wrench in the other and some stuff in my pockets. I had these big, heavy tools on me. And when I crashed,
They start stabbing you?
well, the hammer broke 2 ribs, cracked another one on this side. The pressure of hitting the ground with all that force cracked one of the ribs that was broken in the front, in the back, cracked 2 more over here and 1 in the back. Severe concussion. My helmet got split. Pretty bad road rash, and I stood up because I was working the night shift. There was no one on the freeway. I was by myself. My phone, I don't know where it was, but I was so heavily concussed, I had to go back to where I crashed to remember what happened. Because I showed up to work with my bike running on 1 cylinder, smoking, just completely destroyed, leaking gasoline.
Oh, wow.
Without a helmet, I showed up to work, babbling and scaring the hell out of everyone because I was covered in blood and nastiness. And when I got to work, I almost instantly passed out. And then I got on a bike again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've had a few other like near misses, and then this year has been the big one for accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to lane split going to work again, and a car on my left.
That work thing's a motherfucker.
I know. Wait, how would you know?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, lane splitting, car on my left. I saw them up ahead, and there was a pretty big gap between us, and I don't know what they were doing, but they decided to move closer and pinch it, so it closed the gap. I probably was going a little too fast. I couldn't slow down in time. So my left hand went through their passenger side mirror, and my elbow went through their passenger side window.
And your bike, that bike was this fucking wide anyways.
Yeah.
So to be splitting lanes, I mean, my bike's wide, you know, and those steer horns that were on that thing were like Wizard of Oz shit, dude.
I know. Well, I don't know if they can see it on camera, but my fingers don't go straight anymore.
Yeah?
From that accident. And then at the very end of that same month where this happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Going on some back roads with people I shouldn't have been. I think I was the only cruiser.
Out running around with sport bikes.
Going up through the mountains, just trying to keep up. And came around a turn and lost the bike. Luckily, I wasn't too banged up. I did dislocate my knee, twist my ankle, some bad road rash. The bike, however, did not survive.
Yeah.
The bike slid out from underneath me, hit a curb with enough inertia to flip it twice in the air and land it on some boulders. The bike was completely destroyed.
Yeah. And that bike was near new, right?
Yeah, that bike had 6,000 miles on it.
Yeah. So lessons learned. We're not going to crash anymore.
No, I'm looking at trikes now, or something with
Oh, dear Jesus.
a little bit more of a footprint on the ground.
Well, there you go. You can't split lanes on those things, but
yeah, and I think that might limit me a little bit. But
yeah. But hey, there's nothing wrong with it. I like it. I had a Volkswagen trike back in the day. It was pretty fun. There you go. You earned that. That's for sure. That's the MDP ride patch there.
Yeah.
That's for anybody who's been riding and actually thinking about this conversation I was going to be having today with Shanks. I've decided that we're going to need to do some kind of patch to commemorate people who have had way too many near-death experiences. I don't know if we're going to call it the Idiot Award or the Reaper Avoidance Award or where the fuck we're going to go.
Well, we're just talking about the ones on the bike, because my other ones go back quite a long way.
Yeah, and I could go down the same road with you. You know, I mean, I've got very similar stories as far as that goes. You know, I've almost killed myself. I don't know how many fucking times. So, you know, I mean, I know I'm dumb, but apparently I'm smart enough to still be here. So, right?
Yeah, I more or less ragdoll it so I don't tense up.
Yeah, well, you know.
This might help.
You'll develop different techniques all through your life. Oh, shit. Something I wanted to touch on, I think it's a good story for you to share with everybody, is about the happenings with your brother and his cancer ordeal, you know. And, you know, and don't be shy about, you know, taking your time with it, because it's a really good story. And I know it means a lot to you and your family. And
yeah, well, between my brother and I, we were two totally different types of people. I was more outgoing, and I was one that was always out for the camping trips, always pushing myself to go do new things. However, my brother was a little bit more subdued. He stayed at home with my mother a lot and learned how to cook amazing meals and spend more time reading than he did outside. And he was very educated, but just by the powers that be, he got very, very sick. And we thought it was pneumonia, because he was coughing up really nasty and had a fever all the time. We didn't really know what it was. And then he was out of school, I want to say 2 weeks. And then one day he just
were we talking about high school here? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
This was his freshman year. He had just started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a freshman in high school. He one day he flopped down on the couch, just because he was so exhausted. He just collapsed. And he was just going to sit down and watch TV, but when he flopped down on the couch, and one of his lungs collapsed. Took him to the hospital, and without any warning whatsoever, they turned around, pumped him back into an ambulance, and shot him over to Children's Hospital without telling me, my dad, or my mother. They just said, hey, Darren's going here. You got to go there. We get there, and they do CT scans, an MRI, and x-rays, and find out that my brother has a 5-inch tumor in his chest. It metastasized so large that it attached itself to his heart and to his lung, and when he flopped down on the couch, it moved and shifted and pressed into his lung so hard it collapsed it.
Wow.
He had to go through a whole hurdle of shit to try and get through this.
Oh,
and he was very fortunate to come through it on the other side healthy, but he lost so much weight, and it was very difficult for me to be around him. I mean, going and seeing your little brother in the hospital with tubes coming out of every end and unable to move, speak, breathe, because it was such an intense type of cancer, it was just draining him, and because of how large it was. It was non-John Hopkins lymphoma. Through all that, the Make-A-Wish Foundation approached him because he was still a kid. And they asked my brother what he wanted, if there was anything they could do for him, take him somewhere, go to Disney World, or meet somebody famous. My little brother said there's nothing he wants, he just wants to be with his family. And they said, well, how about we take your family out to a big party or something like that? And he says, no, we're already very fortunate, we're very lucky to have one another, we don't need anything like that. So my brother, being who he is, he just kept saying, go on to someone else who needs it more than I do. They wouldn't let him go.
Yeah.
They wanted to see what they could do for him because he was being so selfless. As Darren started getting better, he was watching the video footage of his cousins who were the same age as him playing football in high school. And that was Darren's dream, was for the 3 boys to all play football together on the same team. He never got that chance. He played 1 game, and then all this hit him. So he said, I'd really just like to go see my cousin play. And if there's any way you could get him a new jersey, the team new jerseys, because they're playing with the same ones from the 80s. And my brother was in school in 2004, 2003. So that was all he wanted. He said, just take care of the team. He didn't want anything in return. He didn't ask for any special seed or anything like that. He was the second kid in Make-A-Wish history to ever just give away a gift to someone else that he didn't prosper for. He went into this, and Nike decided to sponsor the whole wish. So they got his high school team new home and away jerseys, some new training equipment, and they tried giving my brother tickets to go see the Chargers. He tried to give him season tickets and things like that. He said, I don't want any of that. But they kept wearing him down, and they twisted his arm real hard, and he became the water boy for the Chargers cheerleaders for 1 season.
There you go.
Got to have some fun. He was enjoying that a lot. But when he got through and finally was in remission, he got to finish out high school and did very well, because even though he was sick, he was still staying on top of as much schoolwork as he could. And he graduated from Patrick Henry in 2013 with his class.
So lymphoma is a blood cancer, right? And then to have a 5-inch tumor, did they operate? I mean, I can't see they could operate with it being attached to his heart.
Correct.
So
what they did was intravenous chemotherapy.
Yeah.
They couldn't do radiation because of where it's at.
Yeah, fuck it, burn his heart. Yeah.
Exactly. So what they did is they did intravenous chemotherapy until it got to a more manageable size. And what they went in and did is they basically just cut it right where it was attached to the heart, leaving a whole bunch of scar tissue, and cut it right where it's attached to the lung, and left more scar tissue and pulled out what they could. It left him with a 17-inch incision starting from the front of his chest, ending in his back, to where they could get in and get to it.
Yeah. Wow. Now today. Let's end with a happy story.
My little brother was very inspired by the people who took care of him. And right now he is attending Grossmont to finish out some courses, and he wants to, it's this long title. He wants to work for either the World Health Organization, or he wants to work in a lab studying infectious diseases and learning how they spread and how to treat them.
Nice.
So they have no idea how he got cancer. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But because of the rate that this one grew, it really just has always concerned him. So he wants to learn how to address and help attack these other illnesses that may be in other people. So he's trying his best to stay in school and get good grades and do all that. And simultaneously, he's become the greatest cook I've ever had, because he works at different restaurants.
Yeah, he was working culinary, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's learning how to do that. And the main reason he got into there was because a bunch of his classmates are doing the same thing. Going to school, taking 16, 17 units a semester, and then working in a kitchen, bussing tables or whatever they could to help pay for it.
Yeah, very common way to get it done. Well, I'm glad. I still haven't met him. I'm glad to see and hear that everything's going well. Yeah.
I rarely get to see him anymore. I mean, when I do go over to my parents' house, my brother and I were just passing one another, because he's either in school, sleeping, at the library, or at work.
Yeah, he's motivated and busy. He's on a mission. That's awesome. But that's awesome. Talk about a life-altering experience. You know, it took him down a completely different path. Probably made him think a lot harder about things than he'd ever had before. So just something for people to consider.
Yeah.
As they complain about there's nothing on TV and shit like that.
Yeah. Taking a look at my little brother, he's 4 years younger than me, and he's just got so much motivation to help other people. It's what pushes me to be a better person too.
Yeah. Seeing
someone like him just go through
life. It's not a
life.
Competition, Brian.
No, it's not a competition, but he sets the bar way up here for good kids, and I keep getting into accidents, so my parents look at me like, just sit still.
Right? I'm going to make you into the bubble boy. I think Porno said you're going to get the new training wheels monarchy that Peter had forever. So.
Yeah, I'm super happy about that too.
So I know you've mentioned some adventures you'd like to check out at some point in time. We've even tried and talked about a possible motorcycle ride up north, all the way even to Alaska. I think we talked about at one point.
Yeah, there was a couple of fun trips that looked like something that we could do, and it wasn't, anything out of this world. Though the trip that you were talking about, Alaska, was taking that fun trip, starting over at the Mexican border and ending in possibly Anchorage, Alaska. Going all the way up there and following the coast seemed like it would be such a fun ride. And you and I were talking about possibly doing it on an adventure bike, something we could go the real distance in. I mean, just to see the country and have a little bit more fun. Yeah. And I know a few people do the big long rides. This would be something really cool to see and go out to Alaska and experience that.
And I'm still down, and we can plan it, but you can't crash.
No. No. The other ride that I have to do is the one my dad did. Because my dad's not originally from San Diego. My dad is originally from Alabama, moved up to just the south side of Chicago, and he got tired of constantly getting into trouble out there, so he rode a Sportster from Chicago down to Alabama, through Texas, here to California, in San Diego, through winter.
Wow.
We have photos.
Well, I can see why he went down to Alabama first.
We have photos of him when he showed up here. He had an empty sea bag on his back and had absolutely everything he owned
On.
Trying
to stay warm. That's awesome.
Yeah, he said he stopped just few times as he possibly could, pulled over to the side of the road, just parked and collapsed in the middle of the dirt.
Any idea what year that might have been, or?
God, that was 84 or 85 when I did that trip.
And the bike was older or newer?
No, it was something he had traded his truck, and it was a brand new, it was like an 84, 85 Sportster.
Oh, okay. So it was on the newer Evo motor. I could see why it made the trip, because like the bikes 10 years prior to that would not have made that trip. So I know I owned several of them. Fucking garbage wagons. Oh, go away, Pops. Oh.
So yeah, he always joked around telling me, oh, you may have ridden so many miles, but you can't do that trip through the dead of winter.
Yeah.
Fuck, now I have to try.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I mean, I've been coast to coast in a train, in a bus, in cars, in semis. I have not done it on a motorcycle yet. I have not been coast to coast on a motorcycle yet, but I've done it in every other fucking way imaginable, right? A boat, I don't know, if I rode a boat somehow, but yeah, I'd be down. You know, man, shit, if I could get the shit together, I'd love to just take off on a ride and just stop and see order members all over the country. Just keep rolling, you know, just bang, bang, bang. Just, you know, use that couch surfing voucher we hand out to everybody, right? You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about that since we're on that subject now. What's your thoughts on this whole thing now that you've seen it progress from where we started with, you know, this was the founding crew right here in San Diego, and you were part of that, you know, so.
It's kind of crazy to think that many people have, I guess, either read or been inspired by you or the conversations. And I totally believe that there is thousands more out there who haven't been exposed to what we've been talking about. And if they got the chance, they would jump on board with us, because it is a collective group of people who want to move forward and have fun and go out and meet new people. And that's just still crazy that it's gone outside of even the U.S.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you think about it, okay, yeah, I can understand. Billy flew over to the East Coast, met some people, they were interested, and they started emailing back, and things got bigger there. Mm-hmm. But it became more than that.
Yeah.
Really fast.
Yeah.
And just expanded out, and then the Proud Beauties and all of that integrating so that way no one felt left out.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone feels like they're a voice and they can be a part of it no matter what it may be.
Everybody's welcome. Not everybody can stay. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
You gotta, you know.
I'm sure. I think I've got like 3 or 4 more crashes before I'm kicked out.
Nah, you'll never get kicked out for something like that. That's for sure. We'll fucking make fun of you. That's for fucking sure. Jesus.
Yeah.
So have you met any new people or had any interesting experiences through our ventures?
Oh God, they met so many weird people.
Right? We're all fucking weird. That's the best part about this. You know, it's such an eclectic group. You know, even like we had generals and commanders and doctors and psychologists, and they're weird as fuck too. You know.
I'm still gonna put Rich up there as being one of the most interesting guys I've met so far.
Larson?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That guy's
Murdoch?
Yeah, that guy's always a blast to talk to, and he's so energetic all the time.
He loves life, and it's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, fucking, he is the current president of the LA chapter 313, and super good dude. He came to us through porno.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, I think, high school buddies or some shit like that, as a matter of fact. So, yeah.
Yeah, that guy's creepy, too.
Yeah, right? Yeah, well, with a name like porno, you know, what do you want? Oh, we're going to be calling him, I don't know, we're going to have to learn how to say porno in Croatian pretty soon here, the way he's been traveling over there.
I know. Bastard.
So any big trips planned for you besides motorcycle stuff? Anything you want to get in? I mean, you're young. How old are you now? What, 28, 26?
26.
Yeah, you're just a little baby.
Yeah. Well, there is a couple different things I've been looking at. I mean, I want to go out and spend some time over on the East Coast and see some family out there, and that's going out to Alabama and Tennessee and Indianapolis and
Nice.
Chicago. We want to go out there and spend some time. I also want to get out to Phoenix again and slowly sweat off some of the fat because God, it was hot.
Yeah, right. Well, it feels a little like Phoenix in here right now. That's for sure.
Let's turn the fan on higher.
Oh shit.
I don't know, with the most recent accident at work, breaking my ankle, it just kind of screwed me up.
Yeah. Suffering some setbacks this year, that's for sure. But,
Yeah.
Just keep pushing forward. You'll be fine.
Well, slowly, just trying to make sure I have everything. I'm super excited for Wasteland that's coming up this year.
Let's get on that one. That's a really good subject, actually.
Yeah, I have no idea what to anticipate, and I'm kind of like trying to keep it that way. So,
Why don't you tell people what you think it is, or what you understand it to be from this point?
I think the way it was explained to me, it was Beyond Thunderdome coming to life.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's kind of what I wanted to keep, because when I told you my dad, I didn't get to see him very much.
Yeah.
That was, he and I, we loved Mad Max.
Nice.
We loved sitting down and talking about that, and trying to come up with crazy ideas that would be around then. And then somebody told me about Wasteland, and I did a little bit of research, and not a lot, maybe like 20 minutes drunk, and looked up and saw that that's really what it was, is people going out, and it's a heavy metal version of Burning Man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, for sure. And it's growing like crazy. I guess they're anticipating 4,000 or 5,000 people this year. It's out in the desert, California City, in September, in California City, California. And let's could be a California City somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, I found out there's a San Diego, Texas.
Yeah, right next to Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. When I was in tech, my dad lived in Corpus Christi. Where are you from? San Diego. I'm like, no, California. Because I definitely didn't sound like I was from Texas. So, but so they're expecting, like I said, 4,000 or 5,000 people. People build badass vehicles. People go way crazy with their costumes and their get-ups.
I'm thinking that because I've got some time off now.
Got some time to do some work, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Since I can't climb a ladder, I can't stand for very long, I am getting myself a peg leg or some sort of motor scooter.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm going to see if I can build some fun stuff to go out there with. And I bought the lumber, and I wanted to build a trebuchet, something that we can go out there and just have
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
crazy fun with. And I remember
You can launch some watermelons and all kinds of fun shit, I'm sure.
I have made a propane-powered potato gun once.
Nice.
That was cool.
Yeah. We could definitely make some implements of mischief and have some fun. I'm all about that. That sounds like a really good time. So yeah, we got, I don't even remember where they counted it up, but I think it's 20, 30 order members, and then just regular MDP that are going to be at this thing, coming from all over the United States. So, and I can't remember. Might have been a Canadian or might have been an international coming too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't look at. We have a private page where they all chat about costumes and shit like that. So of course I turn all those notifications off.
Yeah, I'm not a part of that. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep it fun, because if I start talking to all those people, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna look like an idiot.
Well, I'm not bashing. It's a
Oh,
girl.
no.
It's a girl thing to do, and that's what they're doing. So it's mostly the girls who are chatting on there. So that's fine.
Yeah, but still, I want to go out and have fun. And if I start hearing about what, say, what's his name, Freestyle's gonna do,
All right.
and I think, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a costume, and then Freestyle posts a photo of what he's thinking about doing, it's gonna make me look like a autistic child.
Well, Freestyle's been playing dress up a lot longer than all of us. So started with mommy's clothes, and it has progressed. But no, yeah, he loves that shit. We're doing Pirate Invasion here the end of this month, and that's up in Long Beach. And same thing. It's just Pirate Renaissance right on the water.
Oh yeah. And this is the one I wanted to go to. This one. I probably can't be on my feet till July.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. If I can get out there and be able to move around.
Well, we go get you a wheelchair, and then we build a cardboard pirate ship all the way around it. All right.
I'm kind of liking where this is going.
And you dress as a parrot, or an octopus inside the pirate ship. I think this would be badass.
So the Kraken attacking a ship. And
Yeah, right.
Rolling my fucking ass around.
I love it. It'd be so good. Oh shit! Or we can we'd have to steal a powered chair for you. I want to like a jazzy or whatever those rascal. Or jazzy. I don't know where the fuck I got that. Oh yeah, that would be good. Nice.
Yeah. So these upcoming events should be fun, and I want to get more involved. And I mean, the like the last year, I've been so focused on trying to work as hard as I possibly could and get myself back on track financially after some
setbacks.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's what it is. Is what it is.
So now I'm finally comfortable with this new job and have a little bit more freedom. Shit, I have the weekends off now.
Yeah.
And I have paid time off that I can actually use.
Yeah.
So
it's neat having a real job and getting some slight benefits every once in a while.
Yeah, real job.
Some people, well, I don't have a real job.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about.
I work a different job every day just depending on what I got going on. One day I'm doing MDP shit. Next day I'll be doing construction. Next day I'll be doing PayPal. Next day I'll be doing fucking prototype bullshit. Next day I'll be doing real estate. Never know where it's coming. There's a lot of split days too where it's all mixed up. But keeps me popping, man. Keeps me popping. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got a good little chat in here. We'll do this again.
Definitely.
People now know a little about one of our founding members here in San Diego.
California.
Well done, sir. Thank you for doing this, brother.
No worries.
All right. Till next time. Live a little, fuckers. MDP for life. Peace.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. Easy.
Oh,
Easy
yeah.
peasy. Real close to an hour.